What's up YouTube? Matt with Matt Builds coming at you with another video. So this next video is part of the Hillbilly Yard Tractor series. Started editing this video, or the clips of it, and realized I didn't film an intro. So here's your intro. Now we pretty much just went through getting this mower running. We had a few little issues along the way. I may possibly end up having to rebuild one of the cylinders on this engine. Not sure yet. Or we may just put another engine in it. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys. So I've tried to crank this thing, and it's been sitting for several years, so we're gonna take the top off, get the carburetor off, get that cleaned up, and hopefully get this thing running here shortly. Alright guys, so we're trying to get this carburetor off. It's not bolted to anything in the back, it doesn't look like. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to just take the two intake bolts loose on each side, and one underneath there. And we got some fuel linkages up underneath the bottom of it, but I'm going to try to just take these 4 bolts out, and hopefully we can rock it and manipulate it to get that throttle linkage loose. And we're just going to take the whole intake assembly off with the carburetor and everything, and then we'll get it up on the bench and start getting it cleaned up. Now one thing I am doing is I'm holding the carburetor assembly up as tight as possible to the heads, because once I take this off, I don't want anything to fall down inside of the motor, because if it falls down in there, we got a whole nother problem. So as I take this loose, I'm going to be as careful as possible not to let anything fall down in there. Alright guys, so this is basically directly feeding right down into the top of your motor on each side. This is where the air and the fuel goes in to feed the engine, and you don't want any of this dirt falling down in there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some rags and stick them down in there just to kind of keep anything from falling down in those holes. And I'm also going to shove some take another rag and kind of wipe around there, just clean everything off. But I'm going to leave that rag stuck in that hole while I'm doing that. That way I don't get any dirt down in there, and if anything does fall down on the rag, as I pull it back out, I can make sure that I pull any dirt out that might have fallen on those rags with it. So you just don't want anything getting down in those ports. So I got some rags shoved in here. I'm actually going to take a few minutes and take this little heat shield off and just do a little bit of cleaning, because it's pretty nasty in there.
Said I'm on the way to you, on the way to you. spoke, take her, watch her walk to me nice. Say she acting bad with the bark, with the bite. Down south with it, pay my pot for the night. And we lock for the night. Might have met my match, got a spark, got a light. Tryna get attached, run it back, get it right. Gotta make a play, I'll be better with your light, yeah.
Alright, I want to show you guys real quick before we go up there and work on the carburetor. I told you I was putting these rags in here, so if any dirt did fall, it would catch on the rag. When I pulled the rag out, just a little bit of the dirt that it has caught. You see a few pieces. Some of these pieces could have went down in that engine if I not done that. So if you ever pull your carburetor off or anything like that, always make sure to put something in there just to keep for things falling in the motor. Now most guys on YouTube tell you make sure you put your bolts somewhere safe. Nah, just set them wherever.
Said I'm on the way, on the way to you, on the way.
Alright you guys, we're trying to get the bowl off, and these two screws right here, there's one here and there's one on the other side, are stuck on there pretty good. And typically I find with these carburetors, they usually are. So, Harbor Freight impact driver. I'm gonna prop it up on 2 blocks of wood just to keep from damaging the nipple right here where the fuel comes in. Don't want to mess that up. So we're gonna prop it up on 2 blocks of wood. Hopefully this will break them loose. There you have it, guys. Amazing what happens when you have the right tools to do the job. So this is actually your needle, and your seat is down inside there. So what happens, this kind of works like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with a toilet bowl, but the way this works is that pin that I just pulled out is actually a pivot point, so that as this is filling up with fuel, it actually works the other way, upside down. Let me flip it over. So the way it'll actually work is that needle will go up in that seat, and the fuel is actually coming in through that hole. And as this fills up with fuel, this needle gets pushed up into that seat and it shuts the fuel off. So if you ever have one that fuel is running back out of the carburetor, this needle is not mating up to that seat and is not stopping the flow of the fuel. So if you ever have a problem where fuel is actually running back through your carburetor and into the air filter, more than likely that's the cause. However, this can actually have the opposite effect. If it cranks up and runs for a few minutes and then shuts off, like it's running out of fuel, this could actually be shutting the fuel off too quick. So some of these on the old ones used to be adjustable. All of your new ones now are plastic, so pretty much if you have a situation like that, you're going to need to replace it. Now we're going to go through, and you can see all these little tiny holes. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. All these little tiny holes, the jets, anywhere fuel's coming in. So this is the seat that I was telling you guys about. Let's see if I can get that in. There it is. So this is the seat that the needle rides against for the float, and that's actually where your fuel will come in to the carburetor. Now this is actually upside down, so sitting on the mower, it's actually sitting like this. But we're going to go through, I got some little brushes and so forth. We're going to go through and just check each one of those and make sure each one of them's clean. Take the compressor, blow them out, some carburetor cleaner, and we should be good to go after that. Alright you guys, putting everything back together now. Hopefully we got everything cleaned out enough to where we can get her to run. I'm not really sure what this is right here. We're gonna put it back together. It was warm when I took it off, so I'm sure, I'm assuming that's some type of sensor or something like that. But if that's bad, we may have to order one of these. Actually, I'm gonna have to look it up online and see if I can find out what it is, and then order one of these. But as of right now, everything looks pretty good, much better than it did. So we're gonna finish putting everything back together, put it on, and fingers crossed, she'll run. Alright, you guys, we got the carburetor put back on. So this solenoid right here I was talking about that was actually hot, I looked it up, and what it is a fuel shutoff solenoid. So whenever you cut the ignition off, it stops any flow of fuel to the carburetor. Like I was telling you about that float and that needle and seat, how it can actually flood it. So this is meant to prevent it. Well, yeah, I like it simple. So what we've done is we have put a inline fuel shutoff. So shut the fuel off when you get off of it, you get on it, turn the fuel back on. Simple. So I just got the air filter kind of stuck on there, so we're going to give it a try. I have cleaned the gas tank out pretty decent, and here it goes. See what happens. Alright, you guys, so figured I'd check the spark plugs because, well, I didn't check those before. So this was one of them. It's actually not too bad, and this is the other one. And believe it or not, I've actually scraped some off of it already. I mean, there you go. So this could have been an additional problem. So I didn't have the exact same spark plugs, but I have some that were in my zero turn, some extras that I had. So we're actually gonna pop the air filter back on real quick and see what she does this time. have it, guys. We went from yesterday wouldn't even turn over. I put a new battery in it. I did that and cleaned the carburetor, new set of spark plugs, put that inline fuel switch off on it, and that solenoid on the bottom, so I actually had to make a wrench, but I was able to take it out, and there's a little nylon tip on there that acts as another type of needle and seat to shut the fuel off. I actually took that nylon tip off and just put the sensor back in there and left it unplugged. So yeah, don't need that crap. Keep it simple. KISS theory. So anyways, this is the first part of this. We're going to be taking the deck off, changing the tires out, putting something with a little more grip on it, and I'm going to be using this as a kind of just a vehicle to haul the trailer and stuff like that around the yard, just a little workhorse. So stay tuned. We're going to be putting the hood back on, taking the deck off, and a lot of other stuff in the future. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Please share this video. Help me get my channel going so that I can bring you more content like this, and hopefully my videos will get better as time progresses. You guys have a good one.